Okay, listen, I am really not in a good mood right now because there's construction outside and they're jackhammering and hitting my wall. So at some point you're gonna hear it, okay? I can't do anything about it. But in this video, I wanna go ahead and give you 5 tips for 4 different platforms. So 5 tips for each platform. And those platforms are Twitch, we're gonna have YouTube, and then TikTok and Twitter. I just heard something again. They keep making so much noise. The goal here is to give advice to people who want to be content creators, people who want to actually make a career out of it. I know that most of my audience are Twitch streamers and you guys can be annoying because you don't want to do anything else but stream on Twitch, but that's fine. For the small percentage of people that are trying to branch out and actually make a living out of this, you'll get some value. So let's hear a quick message from our sponsor first and then 20 tips for social media and content platforms. This portion of the video is sponsored by Owned Pro. Owned Pro is an online service and software created for streamers and designed to jumpstart your streaming career, giving you access to overlays, alerts, and other tools for live streamers. Owned Pro is currently available in over 9 languages, and that includes overlays and alerts, meaning that non-English speaker streamers can easily get started with their customized experience. Owned Pro will also give you access to a Twitch chatbot that will moderate your chat and help you run giveaways. They also help you take a good look at your statistics, give you free panels, and even provide copyright-free music. Owned Pro is currently compatible with YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Owned Pro is constantly coming up with new features, but I'll let you check it out at own.gg/GaelLevelPro. That is own3d.gg/GaelLevelPro. Alright, I have a couple of bullet points. 5 tips for Twitch streamers. Audience retention is the key when it comes to working on your content and actually what you do. You want to be able to keep people's attention for as long as possible. And there's multiple strategies that you can employ in order to keep people's attention. Sometimes it's cheap strategies. Hey, I'm gonna do a giveaway at the end of the stream. People are not gonna be leaving. Even if you get lurkers, that's gonna boost you in the list and you're gonna be reaching more people. Another one is viewer games, especially if you're rotating. Hey, you might get a chance to play with me if you just hold on for a little longer. And then you're gonna have big audience retention there. Those are the 2 strategies that come to mind, but for example, when you get raided and most people leave, this is one way that you can keep them and kind of force them to give your content a chance. So I said viewer games, giveaways, there's more strategies, but let's talk about giveaways. Giveaways don't always have to be, hey, put yes in the chat if you want to participate. Oh, Bob, you won. That's it. You can make a huge deal out of giveaways, especially if you really want that audience retention. So what I would do is basically create interaction around the giveaway. Don't just give away, oh, let me just pick a winner. Make them work for it. So you can play certain Twitch interactive games and the winner basically wins something. It makes people more competitive. It makes your lurkers, well, come out of lurking and start participating because they want to win. It creates a great ambiance. All the while you're narrating, you're hosting the thing, you're commentating basically. I, for example, do something called Carts with Chat. And it's kind of an automated Mario Kart thing with people from chat. All they have to do is type to join and then I just commentate the whole thing like it was like a real race or something. And whoever wins the giveaway. A lot of people use Nightbot for giveaways, but they only use the keyword thing. Nightbot has a random number. Nightbot will think of a number between 0 and 100 and chat has to guess. Whoever guesses the number that Nightbot is thinking of first wins the giveaway. You put some hype music, you say go and watch as your chat becomes like super spammy with numbers, and it's great. It's a fun time for everyone. It's not just, oh, I picked the winner, congrats, let's move on. Now you might be wondering, where do I find those things to give away? I personally like to give away games. I have a subscription to Humble Bundle and they give me like 12 games every single month. I don't play 12 games a month. I don't even play 12 games a year. So I give all of them away. And sometimes I forget and then months will accumulate and then I have hundreds of game keys just to give away all the time. By the way, follow me on Twitter if you want to win some. There are websites that sell you bundle of random Steam keys that you can also give away. Usually for $10 you get like 10 games and it's a wide variety of games. It can be very cheap games. It can be more expensive games. You might get one, you might get lucky. It doesn't matter. You're giving away things for free. Get chat hyped and give away the stuff, right? You can also personally find, I don't know, some indie game that you want to support that is pretty cheap and you just buy and you give it away. I believe I paid $12 a month for the Humble Bundle subscription. So if you get just a couple of subs, that pays for itself, basically. Other tip is monetize early. You don't want to find yourself with, 50 regulars and then you've never even taken steps to monetize your stream and now you find yourself having to beg, having to do donathons or subathons or whatever. You want to establish that, hey, I would like to make a living out of this. I don't necessarily want to beg, but I want you to know that, hey, I take the time to make sure that in my stream, if you give money, you get something in return. Maybe it's an alert, maybe it's an event, maybe it's a milestone or something like that, something special that happens all the time. So use all the tools that you have sub goals, bit goals, and things like that. Put, hey, when this happens, we're gonna do this. When this happens, we're gonna do this. I hate horror games, but if we reach that amount, we're gonna be playing horror games. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna put on a maid costume, whatever. I've seen people do it and it works really well. I know some people watching this are like, oh my God, maid costume, I would never. God forbid you do anything creative in your live broadcast channel. Oh yeah, also use Throne. Instead of trying to raise money through subs in order to buy gear, you can have people gift you gear directly, basically. People are more likely to gift you stuff when they know it's gonna impact the stream directly. Other tip, take notes. After streaming for a while, you should have a clear idea of kind of what works and what doesn't work. You should have at least a vague idea of what works. I said clear idea and then vague idea. Anyways, you should take notes on, hey, you know what? I did just chatting for 1 hour before my stream, and this is where my chat was super active. As soon as I launched the game, chat went completely silent. Hey, maybe I should prolong my just chatting streams. Maybe in between matches, I should probably go into just chatting scene to get the chat hyped again and get that sweet audience retention. Hey, when I play Apex, no one watches me. Or hey, when I play Apex, everyone watches me. And when I play, I don't know, Sims, no one watches me. Things like that you should know about your stream. And that's something that no one else can tell you really about your stream. That is your personal learning experience through streaming. Now, the unfortunate tip out of this is that if something works, you should probably stick to it. Stick to it. Do it over and over again, because that might be your key to success, right? I know it sucks that Fortnite is your favorite game, but no one watches you when you play Fortnite. Hey, tough luck. Play Fortnite offline, like a normal person. Last tip for Twitch, your Twitch gimmick might not work. May not work, might not work. English isn't my first language. It might not work on other platforms, right? Let's say that you are a horror fan. You only play horror games on your Twitch, and that's a niche, so that's good. But then you go on TikTok and all you post is like your jump scares, and then you realize that that's not working. That should be completely fine. You should be completely fine with that, and you should do something else, basically. Find the thing that would work. It can still be related to horror. There's a billion different genres of content that you can make, still related to your niche without being your same gimmick for every account, basically, right? So the message here is that if you have a gimmick on Twitch and it's working well on Twitch, that doesn't mean that it's going to translate well into other platforms. In order to advertise your Twitch, you might have to switch it up a little bit. Maybe you review certain games. Okay, now you're a game reviewer on TikTok, but you're a game player. You're a gamer on Twitch. So people will go on your Twitch to see you go, and then people will go to your TikTok to see you go, here are 5 games that scared me the most. That's fine. Okay, now we can move on to YouTube. YouTube is the main breadwinner. How are they managing to make more noise? Anyways, YouTube is the main breadwinner. When it comes to effort versus reward, there's almost nothing better than YouTube, because it's the easiest and the closest way that you're gonna get to passive income. No income is truly passive, but you know what I mean. If you have a good workflow in order to produce videos, you can work 2 hours per day and make 10 times the amount that you would do by streaming 12 hours a day on Twitch for a year. It accumulates. Basically, the growth on YouTube is very exponential. The more you grow, the more view you get, the more money you make. When it comes to Twitch, on top of the fact that you have to constantly be online for people to find you, but you also constantly have to be online somewhere else to advertise your Twitch and stuff like that. I have to say it. If you want to make a career, if you want to make a living, Twitch is like the worst thing that you can probably do online to make money. And then YouTube is not one of the best, but it has the most value, because if you build a community, you can do anything. You can sell your own products. You can have companies pay you to help them sell their product. You can have affiliate, you can have 20, 30, 50 affiliate things that even if 1% of your community buys into, you can still make a living out of. And honestly, like, let's face the facts. Brands trust YouTubers way more. Brands have shown us that they pour money into YouTubers all the time. This video is sponsored by a brand, you know what I mean? In order to get a Twitch stream monetized, it's kind of hard. And Twitch streams kind of feel worthless to brands. It's not worthless, okay? That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that to brands, it's hard. It feels like something that is fleeting, right? One live stream, you get 10 viewers, 20 viewers, even if you get 1,000 viewers, and then that stream disappears into oblivion after what, 60 days? Whereas on YouTube, the video stays up and it gathers views forever. As long as YouTube is up, your video will be up probably, and it can be shared easily to other people and things like that. Brands can be like, oh yeah, we worked with this guy, here's the link. Yeah, good luck finding your Twitch VOD from 5 years ago where you worked with a brand or whatever. Oh, I can highlight it, no one cares. On top of that, being a YouTuber will learn you amazing skills and will show your value. Not only for you as a person, but also for companies. The reason why I keep mentioning companies, because eventually you're gonna get offers that you might want to take. Someone is gonna drop a big check in front of you, is what I'm saying. Now, if you play your cards right, you may not need this check, but Come on now. So one of the shortcuts to making a living out of content creation is to take those big checks from those companies. So in that case, being valuable to those companies. And when I say being valuable, it sounds like I'm making it super complicated. Being valuable to a company is having a portfolio, aka a YouTube channel, where you show that you can do stuff. Oh, you look good on camera. Boom, that's value. A brand find you super valuable if you just look good and you can speak with confidence in front of a camera. Oh, your lighting looks good, your camera looks good, your background looks good. Boom. Your editing is pretty good. Your editing is decent. Or if you put just a decent amount of all of that together, you are a valuable asset for any company. Now, if you throw in that you have a loyal community behind you, you are a gold mine. And most likely, you will never be out of a job for the rest of your life just based on that. Other YouTube tip, do a proper content plan, okay? Don't go into YouTube, well, you can go into YouTube and try to wing it, but most likely you're gonna be wasting your time. Try to do a proper content plan, and I have so many videos on that. Watch my recent one, because I think it's the most detailed. It's the best, to be honest. But if you have a plan, basically, that means that you will pick a niche, and then you will do competitive research, so you will not be lost at pretty much any point. You will know exactly what type of content you should be pushing every single day. I know that being lost is part of being a content creator, but if you have a proper plan, you can take the being lost part out of the equation. One thing that's important is that you need to know how to adapt, right? Whatever you plan may not go as planned. Maybe that niche that you pick is just not for you, or maybe you have a face that doesn't match the niche, so no one takes you seriously in that niche. That's fine. Pick another one. Another tip, try to limit your ideas to projects that you can accomplish in 1 or 2 days max. That is one of the biggest things that I learned basically to keep consistent. And I'm still bad at it, to be fair. This is going to be very difficult at first because, you know, you're not going to have the skills, maybe the confidence, you're going to be hesitant to things, you're going to be very hard on yourself, you are not going to know the audience expectation. Basically, you're going to be like, oh, this looks awful, I can't post it, I need to edit it to make it better. No. But anyways, after a certain time, you're going to be like, wow, that video that was low effort actually got a bunch of views, so I guess I can lower my own expectations of myself, and also I can work on my workflow in order to edit faster and things like that. And then you will be capable of being able to push a video a day. I'm not saying that you should, but it's good to be able to. It's one of the best ways that I've learned to keep consistent. And again, I'm still not good at being consistent. Still within the realm of coming up with ideas that will be limited. Now, I know that for some of you, the idea of video editing sounds like the most daunting task. Fun fact, you can come up with ideas that don't require a bunch of video editing. You guys are always trying to be like the wild edit montage people when you're starting out, when the truth is, some people are making a living by putting GoPros in a dishwasher. I'm not even joking, look it up. GoPros and dishwashers. People have YouTube channels that are feeding full families by just putting a GoPro in a dishwasher. And here you are, oh, I hate editing, that's why I don't have a YouTube channel. Stop lying to yourself. There it is, I'm yelling at you now. Another tip, and this is something that I personally lived, basically making a name within a specific niche, making a name for yourself will make it inevitable for sponsors to reach out to you. Like, they will have to reach out to you. If you make yourself a name in a specific niche, that it's impossible for them not to know who you are and not to value you as an important person in this niche. Of course, they're all gonna reach out to you, so you never have to beg sponsors and have to send out emails. Hi, I'm a small content. No, none of that. I know it's harder because you actually have to build your community, provide value to the community and all of that. No handouts, no sponsorships from the get-go. But later on, you'll be able to pick and choose who you decide to work with because you can go on without them if you wanted to. It would also make you avoid feeling stuck in certain contracts. All right, last tip for YouTube, and I should have saved my whole GoPro thing. You need to stop thinking that you have nothing interesting to offer, right? I got the example of people putting GoPros in the dishwasher and making a living out of it. There are people that are sitting down in front of their bed and telling fake stories. Well, they call it story time as if it really happened to them, and they just exaggerate a story. I almost died, and it's like, oh yeah, I tripped and fell. And those people still manage to make quite a lot of money on YouTube. There are even some channels which their content is planned to not be monetized. They start a YouTube channel and they post specific content that cannot be monetized on YouTube, and they still make a lot of money because they plan ahead. They say, okay, this is not going to be monetized, but it's definitely going to get a lot of views, and if it gets a lot of views, we're going to get a lot of sponsors. So we're just going to make money through sponsors. Or maybe they have their own shop. We're just going to link people. We're just going to advertise our own shop, and whatever small conversion we get, we're going to get so many views that small conversion is still going to make it worth it to have a YouTube channel that is completely demonetized. Anyways, all that to say that everyone has something to offer, even you. Just the fact that you live wherever it is that you live and that most people in the world don't live there means that you can make content about your specific city, your specific country, and that is very interesting content for the rest of the world that don't live in that country. Anyways, let's move on to TikTok. The first thing you need to know is that TikTok is very heavy on geolocation. It's to a point where it's annoying, right? When you first start your TikTok account, TikTok is gonna do its best to really show your content almost only to people in your geolocation. So if you make content that caters to people in your geolocation, everything is fine, everything is great. But if you're trying to break out of that, it's gonna be more difficult, but you can still do it. Now, there's a couple of strategies that people have used in order to break out of it very fast. For example, content that doesn't require you to speak or to use words or things like that. Content that is universal. So it's immediately not tied to the geolocation, to the language, and to the country or whatever. Another tip about the TikTok algorithm is that it works in waves. It basically shows your content to a small amount of people first, and then if they interact well with it, it's gonna show it to more people, and then to more people. And then at a certain point, there's like a human input apparently that's gonna make it go viral or not. But at first, you need your content to basically please those first 10 people. So there's a bunch of strategies that you can use. For example, put a lot of movement in the beginning in order to capture the attention and make people stop scrolling. Sometimes you want to add a little bit of narration, especially if you're doing things like gaming clips, right? Instead of just doing a gaming clip where it's just like, that's it, that's the clip straight from Twitch. I wasn't speaking and I got, I don't know, a triple frag or whatever, or I got a victory royale. Something as simple as putting some text and TTS in the beginning, explaining what's gonna happen in the clip. Yes, even the annoying TTS. Look how I 1v4'd those guys. This is gonna make your clip already way more watchable than before. It basically places an expectation and makes people want to wait for the payoff. Another tip, try all sorts of content when you're starting out, but eventually you're gonna have to stick to something. You're gonna find something that works really well, and I'm sorry, your whole account is gonna have to be that thing now. Another tip, keep your TikToks as short as possible. It's going to be good for replayability, so people are gonna want to watch it over and over again. This is gonna increase your watch time, so it's gonna be like 200%, 300% watch time, which is gonna favor it in the algorithm. The algorithm is gonna be like, wow, this TikTok is so good, this person watched it more than 100% of the time. You're gonna get an extra bonus if that content is highly shareable. Let's say something that's relatable or something that people tend to send to their friends. Boom, you score even more points in the algorithm. Last tip for TikTok, understand that TikTok is not a great platform for monetization. So my personal advice is, yes, you can do TikTok, yes, you can focus on TikTok, but find a way to basically bring people out of TikTok in order to make you some money somewhere else, right? Maybe you can set up your own store. Don't do merch. It's so difficult for people to sell merch. Don't do merch. Merch sounds like a good idea. Most people are not gonna buy, well, the high majority of people are not gonna buy your merch. So don't do that. Unless you do something special like, oh, just stickers and then sticker bundles, or maybe mugs, like practical merch, preferably mugs that are not 30 bucks. Basically do something where you will be taking most of the profit, where you're not going through another company that's taking most of the money and then you're getting crumbs, even though I know that might be more difficult when you're starting. All we're trying to do is basically balance the amount of effort versus the amount of reward. Okay, last but not least, Twitter, aka X. My first tip is make an alt account. Make an alt account and that will be your own personal private account. All of your opinions, all the things that you love, all the different hobbies that you have, all of that stuff can go into your personal, aka your alt account, right? And then you'll have a content creator account. If possible, make sure that those never intertwine, that people don't know your personal account. Because of two things. One, the internet is not real. It's real, but it's not, like, it's real people using the internet, but the way they act on the internet is not genuine. It's not real. I don't think they're trying not to be genuine. I think they just participate in the discourse and then they have what I call internet brain. Now, of course, this is the appeal of social media, but here I'm talking about making an account to boost your career as a content creator. So very different things. Again, you can participate in things that you love, things you care about, and blah, 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 and do all that stuff on your personal account. But when it comes to your social media account, you basically have a goal, and that goal is to further your career. So of course, that means that you need to understand your boundaries. I mean, the boundaries, the responsibilities that you have as a public persona, basically. So maybe there's certain subjects that you may not want to engage to because it can directly hurt your image. There are some personal stuff that you may not want to share because they might be used against you in the future if, I don't know, suddenly everyone hates you. Next tip, website link, quick question, industry buzz, and network effort. According to Phil Pallen, a social media strategist, those are the 4 types of tweets that you should be tweeting at all times. Website link is when you're trying to promote something. Hey, new video. Hey, I'm going live. Hey, I have a new product on my store. Quick question is you going live like, hey, quick question, trying to engage the community directly and start a discussion. It doesn't matter if you care about the answer or not. Just ask a question that you feel like a lot of people might resonate with. People absolutely love when you make things about them, so ask them stuff about them. Industry buzz is something that you can post about your niche, basically to kind of remind people that, hey, I'm in this industry, I know a thing or two, right? It's something of value, basically. It can be a tip, it can be something that you discovered, it can be just an anecdote about you and your experience with this niche. And then networking effort is basically use Twitter. It's when you try to reach out and associate with people who are already in that niche. And of course, you can do a combination of them, but the website link should be 1 out of 4 posts, according to Phil Pallen again, because you shouldn't use your Twitter just to promote your stuff over and over again. Another tip, study the target audience. If you study the target audience of your specific niche, you will know exactly what to say all the time for them to like you. Basically, not to like you, but to engage with your post, right? You will be able to figure out what can you post that they will engage with and that they can resonate with, that they can relate with. You need to know exactly what they like, what they dislike, and what they're polarized on. So make sure you continuously post things that cater to them. Engage in the discourse. Another tip, don't be afraid to create content dedicated to Twitter. After you grow maybe like even a small following, you will find that, hey, if I make content specifically for that target audience, like I know exactly what they like, but I don't create that content yet on my other platforms, so I can't just repost. Let me just post it directly. Let me make it and post it directly to Twitter. And of course, if you're something like a shit poster, that's easy. You can make a meme and then you post it. But whatever type of content you're doing, you can make like little snippets and post them on Twitter directly with no links and anything like that. Just, hey, here's the content. And you'll find that if you do it right, you're gonna have way more reach on Twitter. At the end of the day, the whole point of being on Twitter is kind of advertising yourself as a content creator, indirectly and sometimes directly. Another tip, competitive research still applies to Twitter. You need to find people who are big in your niche and still figure out, watch their tweets, watch how people engage, and figure out why do people like this, and then see what they did that got less engagement. And hey, why did people engage less with this? Look at the time they're posting. That's another big one. When do I tweet? My audience, for example, is mostly in the US. So when I tweet anything before 3 p.m. my time, it gets no reach. Okay, you've been nice, so let me add an extra tip. The Twitter algorithm recently leaked, so we know exactly how to optimize your tweets in order to reach a maximum amount of people. You should look it up, you should know about it, you should probably take notes, and you should use that knowledge. At the end of the day, the key to growth on Twitter is to be very present and also stick to one niche. Oh my, that was a lot of talking. It is so hot in here since I have to keep my windows closed so that you can't hear the jackhammer, even though you're probably hearing it because I'm hearing it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any tips about social media platforms that you would like to share, I can't be the only one giving you the juicy tips. I'm sure you have a juicy tip to share with us. Share it in the comment section below. Also, follow me on Twitch. I'm trying to clean up my schedule in order to stream more often. I haven't been at all, but hey, on the off chance that it works, follow me on Twitch. Also follow me on Twitter because I do giveaways. I share dedicated content there and things like that, so you might win cool stuff on top of knowledge. Oh, and if you're wondering about Instagram, my one tip for Instagram is delete it. Bye bye. Follow me on Instagram.